You can tell it by the recognizable shape. Of course not. You've never seen my comics before or been familiar with my series on DeviantArt. Hey everyone, this is Sanctuary99 coming to a video near you. And welcome back to another episode of Comic Book Speeddrawings. Today I'm drawing another page from Psychoman Chapter 11, and it's from Part 4, the last part of the whole chapter. On this storyboard sheet, I'll be drawing page 67, which is where all the wraths gather around the two protagonists at the same spot where Psychoman and Lisa is at, the whole entire time. But this time, it's going to be very detailed, but not too detailed like Zach did for his videos. As for the other two, they will not be included for this video, only this panel, because trust me, it's going to be a long journey ahead. What I mean for a very detailed page, I mean the panels will have to be simultaneously separated until they will be assembled into a single page. But before I do set up the panels, I'll need to fold my storyboard sheet into a single panel just to be easy as a single reference. It's pretty easy to do so I won't get mixed up here. I can't say rock and roll yet, I have to lay out the papers that I'm going to be using. What I have are papers labeled by numbers, in order to keep track of the story. Panel 1 is 8.5 by 11 cardstock, so it's a fine way to draw a small amount of pictures on a canvas. As you can see, I label it. By the way, you can ignore what else is on the cardstock because I tried out my new red mechanical pencil. And here's what the drawing of the storyboard sheet looks like, with the number where it pinpoints the location of the page. Panels 2 and 4 will have the same cardstock paper as well. Finally, I have panel 3 as a large blank of Bristol paper, about size 11 by 17. Usually I draw my comics on this kind of canvas with dotted lines to serve as borders. And the light from my scanner can extinguish the bright colors after inking. And panel 5 will also be 11 by 17 size Bristol paper. So why the big papers, you may ask? Well, because I'll be able to have more space and condition to pinpoint the exact perspective from my storyboard sheet to provide more characters and details. I think that'll be all for now. But for right now, it's time to draw. Which I'll be using two of my blue pencils, both my mechanical and my lead holder, but not at the same time with each hand. And without further ado, get ready to sketch the hell out of your pencil onto the blank canvas, because this video is about to get started. Are you guys ready?
We've got the scroll, so let's rock and roll! I made it rhyme!
We start out always from the beginning, with panel 1, featuring Fuzztop, Snatcher, and Keith, second in command of the Wraths. These two were behind the Big Allen, the leader of the Wraths, who had gathered around with his soldiers to take down Psychoman once and for all. In that panel, Fuzztop asked Keith what to do with their former soldiers Fry and Buzz from Chapter 1. Keith replied that they'll deal with them right after they kill Psychoman with their bare hands. Spoiler alert! This video will recap the events from Psychoman Chapter 11 Part 4, the first half of Part 4 to be exact. If you haven't seen or read my previous comics of Psychoman, or any of my videos on my YouTube channel, please stop the video for now and click at the link in the description down below to see my videos or my gallery folder from my DeviantArt page to read Psychoman or the latest chapter of Psychoman. Click on the link at the description down below right away. Are you still here? Are you? Okay then, let's press on. Part 4 begins right after Psychoman shields himself and Lisa from the rocket launcher attack, which created an explosion. The Wraths have assumed that they've killed the two, as Keith makes a quip to their expected deaths. But Big Allen tells him to be patient. And Fuzztop, the youngest of the Wraths, was a bit disappointed for not getting a chance to have his way with Lisa, that horn dog. or rather yet, a horn bull.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Nevertheless, Psyche cleared the flame ward with his telekinesis, surprising the living out of the Wraths, who had witnessed it too that are in one piece. So now that the blue sketch is done, let's move on to inking. I'm using my dip pen with Sumi ink, and yes, even my dip pen is wrapped around with tape. There are a wide variety of pens that I can choose from during my process of recording. One of those are usually Faber-Castell pens. Now look, on my last video I mispronounced Faber for fiber because there's an A in Faber and there is an I for fiber. It's as if I needed fiber in my diet. Now let's go back to where I recapped the beginning of part 4, shall we? After Psyche and Lisa survived the blast, they turned their attention towards the big Gowan with an impressed look on his face. He complimented Psyche at first, but his compliments half turned into nitpicks of him who had cheated death by using a crystal, as he and Keith discovered from part 3. When Psyche and Lisa's ears stopped ringing from the loud explosion noise, Psyche attempts to play innocent, claiming that he had never seen or used a crystal for defense, making Lisa snap into protest. And after arguing, Big Gowan orders his men to discard their bazookas and get ready to square off against the Lucha Libre into submission. And that's where we're caught up in this page, during production. Since this panel is done, we will move on to the next panel, not right after I fill the area with the Big Gowan's pants. Now, unlike my other videos, where inking is served for the middle part of my process, and moving on to digital is saved for last. Therefore, panel 1 is done, time to go to panel 2. On panel 2, where you see Fry and Buzz are still tied to a post on a flat car, but are tipped over from the blast, unable to see the confrontation between Psyche and the Wraths. Keep in mind, these two, without their leader Shark Teeth, serve as comic relief characters. Just a bunch of pushover bud monkeys, that their only purpose is to bring all the laughs or sympathy. These two, along with Shark Teeth, believe it or not, they first appeared in the beginning of the Psycho Man series in chapter 1, as the supposed villains by looks alone. And sure, they do give off the Three Stooges vibe for comedy. In Lisa's perspective, they were intimidating by anticipation, but in reality, they're just incompetent fools. They seem to be doing what cliche villains do. Giving chase, mug, rape, that usual shit. Until Psycho Man swoops down to save Lisa by breaking logic as we know it. Thus, Shark Teeth, Buzz, and Fry have become Psycho Man's butt monkeys, even so to the dismay of Fry. Not that Fry, this Fry. The other Fry. By the three who had become Psyche's stooges, I mean they got owned. For example, Psyche tossed Shark Teeth into a car door window of a dark alley for taunting Psyche. Then, Buzz got gruesome punched to the face for sticking his c**k out in front of Lisa, who's a 16-year-old girl. I mean, for f***'s sake. And finally, Fry takes the express elevator after Psyche tells Fry to go tell his friends about him, Batman style. Now that panel 2 is sort of done, I'm gonna have to clear out the mistake above Fry's head on Clip Studio Paint. On the other hand, I'll need to keep on moving forward for the rest of the panels. Let me just take the paper and move it to the side, so I can sketch on the 11 by 17 Bristol paper, aptly named Panel 3. Here's the thing, during my recording session, I had difficulties of getting the right perspective to record my next paper to draw on, and I had to place my camera over my right shoulder to do so. I didn't have any choice and keep the clip of the shoulder view until I go back to the overhead view, which is the main aspect of my videos. With that said and done, the next panel will be showing a one-point perspective of Psycho Man and Lisa still in the same exact center of the Den Donut, on the low ground of the train yard. They're surrounded once again by the Wraths. Only this time they're all unarmed, as in being a bunch of senseless madmen, as far as Psyche puts it, like they're all at a gang meeting from the cult movie The Warriors. For this panel, it took me about almost a week to get it done by clip take after clip take, because my camera can only record up to 22 minutes or less. meaning I have to break up all of my takes together in one timeline to export them into a single clip. But I'll need to speed up the takes very fast to fill the runtime to complete my time lapse. From start to finish, it will be scenery first, then characters last. Once the blue sketching is done, I'll move on to inking. Not much to talk about in this session. I'll get back to you guys after this, so wish me luck. Next is inking, as usual, with a Faber-Castell still extra small fine pen. See the initials at the end. Let's move on. You'll have to excuse me as I need to zoom in with my camera by adjusting it for a close-up. As you can see, it's blurry because I zoomed in with the buttons on my camera rather than bringing it closer. There, much better. I began inking with Psycho Man in the center with Lisa. You can tell it by the recognizable shape. Of course not. You've never seen my comics before or been familiar with my series on DeviantArt. This is gonna take a while for the inking portion to be done. I'll get back to you guys after this.
Best Music Compilation. I'm terribly sorry guys, but that's all the time we have for this part.
But it's not over yet. We've only just begun. Check you guys again for part 2, and I'll bring you back some more of my creative process. Until then, this is Sanctuary 99 taking a break.